Hello, I'm Kristen Oakes-White.
And I'm Avery Davidson. Thank you for joining us for this special edition of This Week in Louisiana Agriculture. As the title suggests, we are revisiting our trip to Ireland with Louisiana 4-H.
For more than a week, our Josh Meeks and Karl Wiggers toured the Irish countryside with dozens of students to see dairy farms, sheepdog demonstrations, and some of the most beautiful land in the world. Josh and Karl, take us back to Ireland.
That's right, Kristen and Avery. We are in Ireland. Literally the Emerald Isle, surrounded by so much green. It's so vibrant here, you can almost taste the green. It's just everywhere. So beautiful. And we are so fortunate to have been invited on this trip by Louisiana 4-H. We are tagging along with more than 100 students and teachers and volunteers, staff, parents, to explore this beautiful country.
Yeah, and I'm nervous that our words or our video will not do this justice. I mean, it's just awe-inspiring driving down the roads on the wrong side and just getting to tour some of these farms and seeing the sights. It's beautiful, and I'm really hoping that we do it justice. With such a large group that we have, we're split into 2 buses and 2 groups, the other being a few days ahead on the itinerary. So we'll be following some of these students to really take in the agriculture, take in the culture that we see all across the Irish countryside.
And our coverage starts in what better place to see the center of Irish culture and history, Dublin. After nearly half a day on a plane, including some of these kids' first ever time flying, these 4-Hers landed in Ireland ready to explore.
It was honestly really scary, but also really exciting to be on, I've never touched this land before.
Addie Hines from Tangipahoa Parish says the time change is the hardest part about traveling so far.
We got 3 hours of sleep last night. We got on the plane pretty late, and then when we got here it was 7 o'clock in the morning.
There's a lot to learn your first time in a foreign country. Ireland uses the euro. The main language is English, but many kids are taught Irish Gaelic in school, and the country only gained its independence from Great Britain in 1922.
There's places here in Ireland that are twice as old, 3 times as old as the country we live in. They're older than the colonies that started America.
And of course, there are plenty of castles. At Kilkenny Castle, built in 1260, Sinead Stewart says she was taking inspiration to design her future house.
My favorite room was probably, I don't know the name of it, but it was the gallery. It was red and had a bunch of different paintings in it. It was huge. The ceiling was painted. It was so pretty. It was my favorite room.
The 4-Hers got the treat of a traditional Irish music and dance show. Remember how big river dance was in the States way back when? Well, it's still alive and kicking here. Gracie Moore immediately jumped up to dance with the performers.
Me and my mom, we're always doing kind of crazy stuff like that. We like to venture out and just do fun stuff.
And there's still so much more to look forward to.
I'm very excited to see the sheepdog presentation. I think that's going to be very interesting.
I'm probably most excited for the cattle farm.
Seeing the castles and the different buildings and the architecture here.
It's a once-in-a-lifetime experience, so it's huge. It's huge. It's humongous.
Walking around pretty much any street, you're going to find one of the most notable brands that everyone associates with Ireland, and that's Guinness. And this next story is about one of the country's biggest agricultural exports, horses. The beautiful grounds at the Irish National Stud and Gardens are breathtaking. This is where Louisiana 4-H students got their first look at Irish agriculture with a guided tour from David Wardell, the tourism manager at the Irish National Stud. He says tours like this are part of the core mission of this farm.
We are a semi-state organization which primarily breeds top-class racehorses. We are the showpiece of an industry in Ireland which is, people don't really understand it. It employs over 30,000 people and brings in a huge amount of foreign investment.
The students walk the expansive fields to learn about the past and see the future of the Irish racing industry. Wardell explains the success in raising great horses lies deep beneath these green fields and is rooted deep in Irish culture.
And it's the limestone in our land, all that heavy mineral content, which grows such wonderful big bones, strong bones. It's not just racehorses, it's sports horses, it's show jumpers, it's Connemara ponies. It's in our DNA.
Addie and Michael Hines have horses at home, once used for Michael to rodeo with. Michael says a tour like this has a huge value to everyone.
It's kids that don't necessarily grown up on a farm or grown up around livestock have the opportunity to either A, learn about it, but still come see it and be a part of it.
What I really thought was interesting was that these horses aren't in like stables 24/7. They're able to go out and graze and things like that.
It was a huge farm with like a bunch of different types of animals, and they were all like spread out, and they all had enough space where they could just kind of walk around.
That's Gracie Moore from Wynn Parish. While she and all of the students enjoyed seeing the fields and horses, there was something else here that was a bit more hands-on, the Irish racehorse experience. Here, participants paired up, a jockey and a trainer, to buy a horse, name it, train it, and ultimately take that horse to the track, virtually.
This one's mine. Third place.
Gracie won the race with Sierra in second and Addie third.
Strategy, I thought that like going like this would make it go faster, but I think I was wrong.
Regardless of the standings, these kids learned a lot about the racing industry through this experience.
You have to start at short distances to get them good at that, and then expand to longer distances.
I think what I learned was how crucial training actually is.
But if you do the tour here, you understand that this is a commercial farm. They could be sheep, they should be cattle, but they happen to be 5-star hotel for horses. It's exactly the same. We are a commodity to breed the finest, strongest, fastest racehorses in the world.
Waterford, for the course of a few days, served as our base of operations of sorts. As we toured a lot of farms around this area, we started in the heart of dairy country.
This is cow heaven. All that green means plenty of food for dairy cows. Good food leads to good milk. Happy cows, happy customers. This truck is filling up its twice weekly haul of milk, about 6,600 gallons worth.
It's a kind of a defined system. You calve your cows in the spring of the year. When the grass is being produced, your cows are calving for that time. So you're aiming for your production cycle for the spring of the year, and so you calve in February, March, and then you go to grass, and it's one seasonal, very seasonal system, you know.
Liam Hennessy is the man responsible for these 250 head of cattle. His family has been farming this land for 6 generations. His son will be the 7th.
It's a way of life, that's what it is, exactly.
Dairy farms are booming in Ireland. Hennessy says the co-op structure, mild climate, and a big name like Kerrygold butter is keeping many milk trucks full.
There are 5 million people in this country, and there's more cows than people.
And it's not all that different in Ireland compared to the States. He practices rotational grazing so that the lush green landscape stays just that. And just like over here, there's a lot of red tape from the government.
Trying to tread that needle all the time, yeah. Like they're changing the goalposts. Every year there's a new rule and a new rule and a new rule. If they start at the beginning and tell us where we're going, at least you can make plans accordingly.
And while his son will one day take over the farm, Hennessy does say he's worried about the future of Irish agriculture in general.
For young people, if they want the chance, I think, and they really want to do it, I think the opportunity is there to do it, you know. And I think it will be there because food is always going to be wanted. And if you do the thing right, I think you'll be rewarded in time, you know.
Everything is just so picturesque. Farm to farm, every one of them looks just like a postcard. And as these kids found out, it tastes just as great. Before the food can hit the table, it must be grown in a field like this. And before the feast, these students got a first-hand look at what it takes to deliver the groceries at Redmond Farm. Here, students like Abby LeBlanc from Vermilion Parish helped plant a new crop of cauliflower.
So right now we're planting plants. It's kind of stressful a little bit because I want to make sure I do it right.
That's because this produce will eventually end up at one of the 2 hotels owned by the same farm family.
Okay, that makes my heart a little happier.
I know exactly what I'm doing. Done this a time or 2.
Andrew Dozat is no stranger to the dirt. His family farms in Avoyelles Parish. He was so excited to get to work on the farm, even if it was just for a couple of hours.
To actually get your hands dirty and be a part of it is amazing. I mean, just getting there, digging in the dirt, planting plants, and just saying that you're contributing to a part of their agriculture and just getting the full experience. Really enjoyable.
Abby says this experience really makes her appreciate the work it takes to put food on the table.
It really does. This is a lot of hard work. Props to them for this. I wouldn't choose to do it, but if I'm told to do it, I would gladly do it because it's actually not as hard as I thought it would be. So I'd say it's pretty fun.
Andrea McCann is a horticulturist at Redmond Farm. She leads the group in the field in an experience that has a real impact down the road, both for the students and for whomever finds this food on their table.
It's just special to be able to share with them my love of soil, my love of producing food in a field from soil, not from aquaponics or hydroponics, both of which have their own great merits. They know that what they have planted will be harvested in 6 or 8 weeks' time. It'll be going into a hotel to go on a plate for somebody's wedding, somebody's christening dinner. They'll be responsible for producing that food.
It's crazy to think about. I mean, it's, the opportunities through these great programs like 4-H is amazing. Without them, this would never be possible. I mean, this is not just the Ireland trip, this is an experience.
Okay, or we'll just plant together. Okay. It really is, and that's like what a lot of 4-H does for me, is that like even just like stuff to like meet new people, like it's always a new experience somewhere.
Join us after the break. We will introduce you to Pip, Ireland's hardest working sheepdog.
You're watching This Week in Louisiana Agriculture, the only TV show bringing Louisiana farmers and consumers together every week.
Now we are on the western side of the country and it is really beautiful over here. There's a different landscape, different feel. We're just outside of Galway where our group is staying for a couple of days. And today what we're experiencing is a very typical Irish summer. There's a chill in the air. There's some haze behind us. It's had a little mist this morning, but it's a really great change of pace.
We've also finally started to really get our feet under us as far as this tour goes. We're hitting the ground running. We're moving across the country. You've probably seen a lot of the stories that we've done. A big theme for this tour is livestock. And managing that livestock is very difficult here in Ireland. You can't really do it by hand, so enter the sheepdog.
In the rolling hills of Western Ireland, this is a common sight, herding livestock from one pen to the next. What they all have in common, their four-legged helper.
Pip's breed is Border Collie.
At Glengalla Mines, Pip is the star.
And off she goes.
With just a whistle from Keith Gagan, she can move an entire flock of sheep.
The only thing you have is yourself and your dogs. So if you can train your dogs right, you can control your sheep.
Gagan and his family have raised sheep on this land for generations. Today, his work includes much more than farming.
So I was travelling on holidays and I went into a mine in England. And I said, gosh, I could do this. So we moved from that to developing the mine, to opening it, making an income on the farm with the mine. And so, yeah, we could make an income, but we still couldn't survive. So what did we do then? People often asked us how we farmed. So I said, I might as well make money. And so we did a sheepdog.
For these Louisiana students, it's a lesson balancing tradition and innovation. Sophie Kay from Vernon Parish has 3 dogs back home. And while they don't herd sheep, she says they're essential on the farm.
They've helped us know whenever our animals are sick and are being off. So like whenever we've had goats in the pastures and they're not wanting to go up with the rest of our goats, they can get under the fences and go and try to get them up.
And Sophie knows a little something about sheep too.
I placed second in Sheep Premier Exhibitor this year at state, which was really amazing because it was my first year and I've just learned along the way.
Another student, Danielle Lovell of Vermilion Parish, also shows livestock back home.
I really enjoyed the sheepdog demonstration today. I really liked seeing Pip go herd them and bring them back over here. It was great.
She says you don't see many sheep in Louisiana, a trait she attributes to the different landscapes.
This is very uneven. We have a lot of even land, and I feel like this is very hilly when ours is very there's a little bit of hills, but not really. And the grass is, I'm gonna say this, the grass is a lot greener here than it is in Louisiana. Ours is brown.
Have you ever seen anything like that?
Yeah.
For Dalton Koziev of Voiles Parish, this was a familiar sight. He's seen collies work cattle before, so he knows the benefits of having a working dog.
It's easier with a dog because they're faster and the sheep are scared of the dog. The sheep aren't scared of humans. They run away from the dog, so they use the dog they put the dog where they don't want the sheep to go, so the sheep go the opposite way.
Gagan welcomes the oohs and ahs because to him, agritourism is about more than just business.
In Ireland, we don't get this. You know, the schools don't come to see it, and if they do, the kids have no interest. You know, you see kids coming here and you could show them a sheepdog, and if the phone, you can see them, they're texting on their phones, whereas I've never seen one of your guys ever to be texting on a phone. They all have the interest and want to do it.
A lot of our stories and tours here in Ireland have been focusing on the new experiences, new commodities, new ways of doing agriculture.
One thing very familiar to our group from Louisiana is seafood. We have it at home. There also is a great seafood industry here. In this water behind us are millions of oysters waiting to be harvested.
For a group from Louisiana, this oyster farm may not seem like a new experience, but it's safe to say these Louisiana 4-H students are getting up close and personal with the growing Irish industry. David Keane loves to host groups at his farm, Connemara Oysters. He says with recent trade changes in Europe, the aquaculture industry has a ton of room to grow in Ireland.
When you consider since Britain has left, Ireland now has the largest coastline within Europe. And so when you consider the future of food, we all accept in farming it's the future of food. The future of seafood has to be in aquaculture. And having such a large coastal line within Europe makes Ireland a very important centre for the future of aquaculture.
Keane's farm, in his words, lands right in the middle of the large and small oyster operations in the country, and it's seeing a lot of growth potential.
At 100 tonnes production, I would put us at, I'd say, the biggest of the smallest and the smallest of the biggest.
Helping the industry and the farm grow is agritourism.
The farm couldn't survive without tourism, and there'd be no point in doing the tour if there wasn't a farm.
A tour here will cover a lot of ground, reaching back into the 1800s when this farm began.
A little bit about the history of the farm itself, which dates back to 1893. Obviously, there's the culture, etc., that goes with that. Why we do certain things with the oysters, how we grow an oyster from seed to plate, how we influence the meat content, how we influence the shape. Then with the younger groups, we do the activities, which is, how we pack oysters, how we shake the bags, and then we get them involved.
We're unhooking, shaking, turning, hooking again. Make sure you loop it under.
That's Kelsey Bruce of Union Parish. She's one of the students learning about the work involved in bringing oysters from the water to the dinner plate. She says that she had no clue how much went into making sure those oysters on the plate are a uniform size.
Which I guess I should have known that since I see every oyster the same size, but I just thought they all grew that size.
For the competitions, Kelsey and Lily Warner were on a team.
We're not winning this.
Warner is a student from Natchitoches Parish.
I was expecting it to be a lot more messy than it was, but we had gloves and whatever, so it was fun.
While it's all fun and games for these students, they are also building friendships that will last far beyond a trip to the Emerald Isle.
Yeah, you're kind of forced to get out of your comfort zone because you're forced to explore and you meet a lot of new people.
I think it's really fun to just get to know people from different parishes and just kind of make friends, and I really enjoyed my roommates this trip.
If you stay in one place the whole entire time, then you're not going to know what the rest of the world is like to offer, and every part is different.
That was stressful, guys.
We are in Ireland here at the Cliffs of Moher, where it feels literally like the end of the earth. And that's an appropriate place to be because we've reached the end of our coverage here in Ireland.
Yeah, we have spent more than a week here with Louisiana 4-H students, and in that time, students have gotten to really get out of their comfort zones, see so many different farms and cultural stops, and have an experience of a lifetime.
Things are winding down for these Louisiana 4-H kids on the Emerald Isle. The farms, the animals, the dancing. But it wasn't a vacation. They got put to work and learned not just about agriculture, but how the world works outside of their homes.
So I'll say this, and many people agree with me, 4-H has changed my life. The amount of friends I've made through 4-H is remarkable.
I really think it is important for people to step out their comfort zone so they can explore the world a little bit, so they can see what all is out there that they don't know.
You'll hear that a lot, comfort zone, when talking to these kids. 4-H not only stokes their curiosity, but it provides an avenue for them to seek more.
I was so excited whenever they gave us this opportunity because it opened new things. I get to leave the country. It's definitely a very cool experience. I'm excited.
I can say that without 4-H, I would have never been able to come to Ireland, much less to learn about their agriculture. Learning about everything from their animal agriculture, how they grow, especially for me being a dairy showman and learning about how they do their dairy farms here, how they do their beef farms, seeing sheepdog presentations, seeing how they work with their animals has been incredible.
I never expected it because, you know, like everything with 4-H that I've done, you know, like we'll go to 4-HU, which is in Baton Rouge, just a couple hours away, but I never expected to go like international with it especially.
Some of these kids are also forging lifetime friendships.
We had a 3-hour car drive to New Orleans, and we didn't talk the entire time. And then when we got to the airport, we started talking.
As a homeschooler, I don't really have as many opportunities to get around and talk to people my age. It's really helped me get out there, get more comfortable with my surroundings, get more comfortable with people.
I don't normally talk to people that I don't know, and I've talked to a lot of people here, so even if I don't know their names, I still talk to them.
And that's the goal, to open up, try new things. That's the core of youth development.
I think it's always important whenever we're teaching our students and they're learning and they're ready to gain that information to show them different perspectives. So whether that be different perspectives of how their communities work or different perspectives internationally, I think that that's a great input and a really makes a big difference in the way that they think about things and they're able to process things when they're able to see a different perspective.
I think it's opened their eyes to a different side of agriculture, a different side of the world, and hopefully a perspective that they'll remember for a lifetime.
Some kids came solo.
When I did travel, I always traveled with my mom, so being by myself was weird, and the plane rides were something. They were something. I think this experience so far, it's really just shown me like my own sense of independence and just to enjoy myself. Like my comfort zone is probably way bigger now that I'm out here and having a good time.
Others came with their parents.
Well, my dad is like one of my best friends and we get along really well. Sometimes he can get on my nerves, but I love him and he's really sweet and he's really chill dad.
Yeah, it's really cool to be able to share this with my dad. I think that just having him, especially at the National Stud Farm, like I can ask him questions too. He's very knowledgeable, so if I didn't understand something, I'd be like, Dad, what does that mean? So I think that's really special.
But they all made an impression.
Maybe it's a trait of the people from Louisiana, but I mean, they're as we describe them, as their character is so strong. They're such pleasant people, you know. So I'd say there's great opportunities for them.
It's wonderful, yeah. We have a lot to learn from the American kids coming here as well.
When you see your students come there with that interest and passion, it really gives you an angle of what they want to learn about.
I look forward to seeing that way down the road and see how they kind of utilize those different snippets of information and how it's just integrated into who they are as people.
Thank you guys so much and all of Louisiana 4-H for making this trip happen. I know the students loved it, we loved it, and thank you for letting us be a part and tell some of these stories.
And definitely a shout out to EF Tours, who helped put all this together, including our wonderful tour guide, Jamie King, who was with us from the beginning to the end. EF Tours was so accommodating, especially when we said we wanted to follow a group of 4-H kids across this country.
Yeah, for sure. And lastly, the kids, the students, the parents, the chaperones, you know, all of you guys, thank you so much for letting us, you know, peek in on y'all's trip and really share some of your stories and, you know, just be part of your lives for this past week and a little day.
One last time, signing off here in Ireland for This Week in Louisiana Agriculture, I'm Josh Meeks.
And I'm Karl Wiggers. Back to you guys.
Now, those were some incredible stories from such a short trip.
Yeah, they said everywhere they looked, it was just breathtaking. Josh and Karl, thank you so much. And also, thanks for bringing the shillelagh back. I really enjoy using that on you guys. Well, join us next week on TWILA as we recap 2025 in Louisiana agriculture.
For all of us here at TWILA, thanks for joining us. We hope to see you again right here next week.